The Brazilian side get away down there, and now the Spanish coach. Well, the Brazilians might not have looked overall the slickest team in this tournament, but they have been able to produce remarkable purple passages of great goal scoring. They beat the impressive Russians by 6-2 in the semi-final, even though the Eastern Europeans had a much more possession in the game itself. Spain, by the way, beat Ukraine 4-1 in the other semi-final, but without looking as if their supporters will be dancing in the Ramblers tonight. We can bring you the result of third and fourth place game. Russia won the bronze by beating their neighbors Ukraine by 3-2. While football has always been very difficult to bring indoors to make it a public entertainment, if only because the game is normally viewed through the perspective of the traditionalist eye. To the extreme opponents of indoor football as a spectator sport, it's a bit like trying to make the America's Cup a dry land event on wheels. To the more tolerant, it is at least worthy of respect for the intrinsic skills which these players display within their own very specialized environment. In short, you either like this experience or you don't. But for too long, five-a-side indoors has been associated with the lads at the pub trying to walk off a hard night on the tiles. Well, these lads you're going to see tonight, backed up by some very attractive lasses, I have to say, are several standards removed from that. They come from semi-professional backgrounds. They need not necessarily be greatly successful in the outdoor game, but they are finally home to the special requirements of this sport. And if you're joining us for the first time, you're almost guaranteed some spectacular goals by indoor football standards. Brazil, a little bit edgy, but edgy on the right kind of side. They are the favorites. They want to get on with this. And there they are, number 10 there, the man who scored a hat-trick, Choco, in the semi-final. Off we go into FIFA's third World Cup Indoor Cup Final. As I said, neither of these teams played as well in the semi-finals as they did earlier on in the tournament, but of course, semi-finals are always associated with a tightening up of play in any competition. You don't, well, you hardly ever see the best of football in semi-finals. That's the Spaniards getting great backing. 17,000 watching this game. There they go, and a neat little tackle there by number 6, Firmino. Top goal scorer is a Brazilian. You will see him. He's wearing number 5. His name is Manuel. He scored 13 goals in the tournament. And a tidal wave of sound surging back and forward. And I think the decibels are an encouragement to the ears of the Spaniards, but they have to be very cautious against this team. Beautifully driven in. And the goalkeeper, Jesus Claveria, against the top goal scorer, and he wins the first duel. The football is slick, there's no doubt about that. At times it is. It can disturbingly become extremely defensive. And even the Brazilians found it difficult to break the Russians down, who eventually wilted because they had to try and come forward. Well, you never come to a football match in Barcelona without getting the crowd involved. No difference being played indoors. Here's Torres Fuentes. Top goal scorer for the Spaniards is a man called Santi. They're all wearing jerseys with their nicknames on them, not their full names. We had two hat-tricks in the semi-finals, one by Choco, as I've already said, the Brazilian player, and one by Vicente Martinez-Bass, to give him his full name, scoring 3 for Spain against the Ukraine. But their top goal scorer is still Santi, though. Goalkeeper takes us well. While Brazil came to the Netherlands, as I said, 8 years ago and played a Dutch in the final and won then. So I don't think that we're put off by this almost intimidating noise going on in the background. Present at the game today, the man who announced he's retiring from his seat in the presidency of FIFA at the end of the World Cup in France, Jean Havelange, and also Lennart Johansson, who's one of these men willing and able to take over. And it just goes out. Well, you know, commendable though FIFA's efforts at world standardization are, it seems to have developed a kind of over-sanitized sport with too many stoppages. I must say I personally miss the kind of ice hockey off the sideboard sort of pitch which has been spurned for sidelines and kick-ins, as you've just seen. Well, good defensive work there. Danilo came back and a little bit of aggro. I'm not too worried about that. As I said, if anything, I think this sport is over-sanitized and too many stoppages in my mind, to my mind. I don't mind time being added on for things like free kicks and goal kicks when the play stops, but the play's going out of the sidelines too often and the clock stops. That was Firmino trying to get away. I make it about 5 minutes played. And the clock will stop again. Vicentin. That's the man who scored the hat-trick in the semi-final. All the goals we saw being scored were really spectacular by these standards. And the Brazilians have been quite happy to allow teams to attack them, and then they go down this pitch with bewildering pace. And their shots that go whipped in with such confidence and elan that distinguishes them from the other sides. It really does. Arriba, you hear from the bench there, that was Ferreira picking it up. Here's the advancer, surrounded, and he almost gets it through there to number 5, Manuel. Here's number 5, Vicente. Spain's number 5 wants Scenario himself, and that was Arnaldo Ferreira. Tiny, diminutive little character, very tricky indeed. Brazil looking dangerous again. If this is a draw at the end of 40 minutes play, 20 minutes each half, we go into extra time with a golden goal being applied. The golden goal that the man watching this game, Jean Havelange, personally has objected to in the World Cup in France. But there will be, I think, many a battle about that. That's Pato. Ferreira picks it up, puts it inside to Sanchez. Here's the break. He's got a man on that side. It must be... No. Wow. A real surprise there, missed by Danilo. And the problem there was the wrong man had come forward. Danilo probably much better as a defender than a goal nabber like that. But that's a dreadful miss by the Brazilian standards. Coach won't like that. They've buried all of these chances, and that was right over the top. You can hear what the crowd think about that. Yes, he took him away deliberately, and I think Danilo exhibiting a little frustration for having missed that glorious chance seconds before. Squads of 12, and they can sub at any time. That pulsating flamenco beat going on in the background and producing that rather over-ambitious pass down the middle. Well, in watching the games from the start, the timing of the long pass has been crucial at times. Now, Manuel. That's so much that is left of this half. This is Ferreira. Pato almost getting an opening there. The man who came through there, Santi, who hadn't scored in the tournament up until the semi-final, but he scored a couple. Now, could Brazil be beaten for the first time in a final? They're not looking all that impressive at this stage. Ferreira is inside. Juan Linares. And the ball played just a little bit too much to the left-hand side. That's Spain's top goal scorer in the tournament. 6 goals he scored. Try to cut inside, and he has good tackling in the middle of defense. And Choco, who was quite outstanding in the semi-final, is the kind of burly player that you would rather not meet on a dark night coming at you, full pelt. He is very uncompromising as he goes forward, and although this is not meant to be an overly physical game, he does make his physique pay off. Shots raining in now from the Brazilians. Here's the break. I think he's got to let fly. And does. Again, Santi comes forward. And the crowd almost take the roof off with this shot whipped in suddenly. Tried to squeeze that down unexpectedly, kept it low. I think they were probably Serginho expecting the cutback. Still no scoring. You're watching Spain play Brazil for the world indoor title. Juan Linares. That's a lovely little ball and just plucked away there from the eager feet of Ferreira. Choco got to do this time, and he does. Brazil open the scoring, and a man who missed that chance earlier on, Danilo, 25 years of age, comes to the bench to celebrate as the holders of the World Cup blast the way into a 1-goal lead. An ominous moment for the Spaniards. Brazil 1 up. Typical of what we're seeing from the Brazilians earlier on in the tournament, where they haven't looked all that impressive in terms of possession of the ball, but they have been simply overwhelmingly tremendous in front of goal. They've been able to pick up chances that perhaps other teams would miss. And that has been the characteristic that separates them from the others. Now they've got to fight back. Spain 1 goal down, and testing out the Brazilian goalkeeper there, Serginho. The oldest player in the side, Serginho, 32. And the corner kick, that was Pato who drove that in. They're still trailing 1-0, and that's another corner kick. They have to beware the way the Brazilians can counterattack. They're circulating the ball all right, but watch the Brazilians in defense. They have their eye on one man, and then they leave another one free. Back he goes. Choco covering up this time. Elements of handball or basketball in the way the game is played, and I think it's going to be difficult. That ball by Javier Llorente fired in. Difficult to beat this Brazilian goalkeeper. A high up and under. Nobody from the Brazilian team eager to pursue that, and I think quite rightly too. They just want to draw Spain forward. The run wasn't made there. And notice the ball, as it was played high in the air, that didn't bounce as much as you might expect from the smaller ball. I think this has been carefully worked out by FIFA. The balls in the previous competitions proved a little too capricious, and it's a little bit softer now and much more containable. Well, not bad having a tackle like that, and the driving shots of the Brazilians really have been staggering at times. They do hit the ball much more cleanly than any of the other sides. They're leading by 1-0. This little man can be dangerous, taken away from him, but I think what he lacked there was any support in the penalty box or penalty circle, but they do get the corner kick. Not that that normally brings any great advantage. This is where I think I would prefer the game played right up against the boards, widen the pitch, give the players just that little bit more breathing space. I think I would be shot down in flames in the FIFA offices. They went there and suggested that. They want this to be seen as a kind of mini football match based on the normal standards, and that's a free kick. Manuel goes down. Manuel, the top goal scorer, 25, comes from Rio. The landings on the beach are somewhat softer, and off goes Javier Llorente, the man who had that great shot a couple of minutes ago. He might have a knee strain there. There goes the Spanish goalkeeper. They can't get it through the defensive wall. Well, the Brazilians have been playing the effective football when it really matters. Very near this Spanish goal. They're quite content to let Spain, as you have already seen, play the ball around. And then they come up and take it from them and make the sometimes lethal counterattacks like this one. Manuel. Sandrinho. And Manuel hadn't made the run back. Still, only 1 goal in it. That's almost got through there, you know. That was good play by Spain. On the outside there was Pato, wanted to chip it inside. Well, that tactical talk to Marcio by the coach. Ooh. Well, there's a bit of curve in that. Well, as I said at the start, they do have their own skills, very finely honed to this environment, and you saw it there, and that's a weak ending. Sandrinho put it right across here. Look at the running off the ball by the Brazilians. Pass, then move. And of course, the Brazilians have always been traditionally blessed with the ability to play in very confined spaces, quick 1-2 football. A la Romario, of course, and Bebeto. We've seen that pair do it so often for the Brazil national side in recent years. Players like Didier and Serginho, Pelé himself, all renowned for the quickness of movement and passing together. Well, after 2 weeks of this football, I dare say some of the legs are tiring out there. It's very demanding, the sport. I know it may not seem so, but the legs go, I think, before they start being unable to get the lungs going properly. I think push forward there by Ferreira. On comes Sanchez. And what they require in this game above all else is flexibility. That's the long ball played forward. And nobody running onto that. Every now and again they change the tactic. Well, the crowd have been behind them all the way. They still are. I think they're rather depressed by that Brazilian goal, just at a point when the Spaniards had been dominating. Now Pato wants to try and play it inside. He does, and a good save. Almost getting to the feet of Arnaldo Ferreira. Well, the one quality this little man has is being elusive, and the goalkeeper anticipated that extremely well. So, Brazil still lead 1-0. Skill and speed and expertise, a little touch of magic you need to play against the Brazilians. You have to be very patient indeed, because as it turns out, although they're renowned for their attacking, they have excellent defensive skills as well, and a first-class goalkeeper, as you saw with that excellent save there, which meant that the score still remains 1-0 to Brazil. Choco goes down, and I think there might be a yellow card, although a kind of sly grin in the face of Arnaldo Ferreira there, claiming he had put on a little act in falling down. Well, he does get the free kick. Right on the line. These are the fouls recorded. After the fifth foul, when you get the sixth, they get a free kick from the spot in front of goal, with only the goalkeeper in. That's why they keep a tally of the free kicks. But I think FIFA will have to look at this as well, because the reward for that is a dubious one. Very difficult to score from that spot. We don't want to necessarily make goal scoring any more easier than this, but if they're trying to cut out foul play, I think the reward must be a little bit harsher, better and harsher on the people who committed it. And that's a goal. Choco. 2-0. Now he scored a hat-trick in the semi-final. Drives forward there and unleashes that shot. And now Brazil might not be an insuperable lead, but a very useful one at this stage in the first half. And there, as we watch the replay there, the ball slipped in. What a way to retaliate. It's Pato who makes it 2-1. To the delight of this crowd, and think a deflection though. Yes, the ball definitely deflected in. not who is going to get the credit for that. 2 goals within 30 seconds, and at one stage there it looked as if, as I said, not insuperable lead, but a very useful one, and then suddenly Spain fight back. I think they deserved that for the efforts they've made in going forward, playing as aggressively as they can. I was saying about the free kicks, I think the reward should be that the team suffering was given a better chance of scoring. Oh, here's a very good one now. The goalkeeper comes out again, looking for somebody inside. That was Leonaris who made that break. And they're calling for a timeout. The Brazilian coach calling for a 1-minute timeout. Either coach can request that in either half. Well, this goalkeeper has turned out to be one of the best in the tournament. Drags the goalkeeper around. Yes, this business of trying to cut out foul play, I think something like that. Those who reached a certain number of fouls, and the team playing more positively and committing less has that advantage. All these laws are under consideration all the time for indoor football by FIFA, but simply awarding a free kick with only the goalkeeper in is not bringing the just reward. You can see the white spot that they take it from, right in the middle of that half. A delighted crowd now. Certainly can sing. It is part of Spain. Well, they're claiming a corner kick. Yes, that seemed to come off the Brazilian player. I quite like the idea of the sin bin punishment, but that has been rescinded. It used to be, it's no longer. Although when a player is sent off for good in a game, if he's red carded, try to take that quickly. Choco getting involved. When a player is sent off, a team can be down to 4 players for only a couple of minutes, and then they can bring on another player. Santi to take this. Brazil coming out very fast for that. That's the right kind of technique for that situation. Bit more aggression. Can he cut it back? He's pushed right out of play, and that surely is a yellow card. Well, I'll be very surprised if it isn't. Well, the referee has awarded the free kick rightly. That's the 4th one that Brazil's conceded. Difficult angle this, the goalkeeper gets to it again, and almost the equivalent of a corner kick. And surprisingly, the Spanish corner kicks have been taken by players who try to impart a little bit of spin and curl to the ball. Rather surprisingly, pass-backs allowed in this form of football. I think it's about time they banned that. No, he couldn't curl it in. Should have passed it. That was Choco. Well, I think the game might have died very quickly for the Spaniards had they not got that goal within 30 seconds of Brazil's second. Now there's a briskness to the Brazilian play, which suddenly disappeared after that very quick Spanish riposte And I do believe that the Spaniards at the moment have the upper hand. Next free kick that is committed, you hear the horn signifying 5 free kicks. Next one, driven in quickly, and he puts it anywhere to safety. The crowd applauding any decent move by the Spanish side. Manuel, I think he slipped himself, and that's a free kick. That's the 5th they've conceded. Although I did think he lowered himself rather deliberately. Fatal mistake. It could be brilliantly driven in, and there the 3rd goal by Marcio. 3-1 for Brazil, and that comes from that mistake in midfield. A dreadful error. And a high percentage of the goals scored in this tournament have come from mistakes made round about the halfway line. And if the teams have had the ability, like the Brazilians, to strike very quickly, as they do here. Spanish defender there, number 7, Pato, a little bit slow in the uptake, not being able to come in for the rebound. And so the 3-1 behind, 2 minutes of the first half remaining. Pato tries to lay it off again. Too many Brazilian players round there. Can he put it inside? Really, their covering up has been excellent. And at times you think they've perhaps a couple of players more on the pitch. Pereira fouled. And now we really ought to see the free kick from the double penalty spot, as they call it, with Indo football having developed its own terminology. Put another way, it's a free shot at the goalkeeper. Well, you can see what I mean. It's, you know, I think if they reach this stage, perhaps a harsher punishment is one of the players going off, Brazilian players going off. That might teach them a lesson or two, but it's very difficult to score from this distance. Again, a goal of 3 meters in breadth and 2 meters in height. Just passed. And I think it is intimidating for the kicker of these free kicks when the goalkeeper slightly advances. Watch a goalkeeper coming out there. In the classical way, narrowing the angle. And I think they must have judged, the keepers, that if they can come out quickly enough to about there, it's not impossible to score, but very, very difficult. Can't keep the ball in. Let me repeat, the Russians won the bronze medal by beating the Ukraine 3-2 in the 3rd, 4th place playoff. Listen to the Brazilian drums. I don't think I've been to a Brazilian football match, and I've been to many, without that incessant beat. It's like the pulse beat, kind of metronomic assistance to the players. Spain could do with a goal at this stage. The clock stops. Played here to Ferreira. Ferreira going into the box again, or trying to. I notice how quickly the Brazilians have been closing them down. I think the ball has gone out of play in any case. Only a few seconds away from the end of the first half. And they get the corner kick. No, they're shooting not as incisive as the Brazilians. I suppose when you look at their games, percentage-wise, they've had fewer efforts at goal than some of the other teams, but they've been able to score with so many of the shots. That was Choco trying that, and I think that's a corner kick. Formidable pair of shoulders. I don't think the coach would argue with him, would he? Ball hitting the mic, and we're almost hitting the halftime horn. 17 seconds away. They can scarce afford to lose another goal at this stage. And that defense is looking quite apprehensive. Now Ferreira sets it up. And weakly passed as this first half reaches its countdown to 0. There we are, end of the first half. And indeed a long first half lasting almost 33 minutes when you include the stoppage time, and the Brazilian coach must be reasonably satisfied with that. We had that 2-goal lead, then the stunning riposte by the Spaniards, Pato scoring that other goal, and then Marcio scoring his 3rd goal of the tournament. 3-1 up to Brazil. Stadium that may yet turn out to be something of a major anticlimax. 99% of them Spanish supporters, and their side trailing by 3-1 at the start of the second half. And the great talent of the Brazilians, and what makes them so different from all the other sides, is their ability to snap goals out of virtually nothing. Their finishing is deadly, their movement is excellent, and in defense as well. And there, an own goal, a tragedy at the start of this half. Well, not for these supporters. For the Brazilian, who could not possibly have banked on this. Oh dear, oh dear. Now, he hadn't the slightest notion of that going in, but it goes in from Manuel. Now it's 3-2. Not divine inspiration, but maybe the Spaniards will think somebody up there likes them, and that this should be their trophy. The last football final we had here between nations was the Olympic final. You might remember it. An astonishing climax when Spain won with the last kick of the ball against Poland. A remarkable evening that was. Now here's the indoor final, and they've been held back by that tragic intervention. It's now 3-2, and that's electrified the crowd. And now the vocal assistance is taking on a more creative turn. But they're never more dangerous than in a situation like that. And Jesus Traviria, angered that that shot was able to come in from Bajé. Well, the goalkeeping has been very, very good in this competition. Very agile. And remember, when this ball is hit cleanly, as it is especially by the Brazilians, it goes at a fair rate of knots. Well, that's the man who got behind that goal. Tragedy for him, Manuel. Well, tragedy maybe a little too strong when a team is still winning by 3-2, but a personal one for him. As paradoxically, he's the leading goal scorer. But oh, what a great psychological boost for the Spaniards, who every now and again have been playing rather slackly in midfield. Now, Choco pushing his way forward. Yes, I think he has been allowed to get away with his rather physical approach, rather over-robust at times, and he's got the physique to do it. I think the elbow came out at the end there. That's the first free kick of this half. And back come the Brazilians again. They had 3 men on the defensive wall. 3-2 to Brazil. Looking for a layback and a little bit too obvious now. Here he goes again, Choco. He wants to go on his own and he should have pushed it to the side. Now Ferreira goes in for the tackle here, and I think that was a free kick. Notice the follow through with the right leg by Ferreira. A sly little dig at the player, and the referee rightly taking that up. Just a little warning, and he went down very heavily indeed. And that would have been an extra burst of adrenaline by both sets of players. The Brazilians, I think, hurt by that own goal, and the Spaniards given another lifeline. And off goes one of the most dangerous players in the tournament, Choco. Now, I wonder if he's gesticulating at the Spaniards or his own supporters, because I don't think the referee will take too kindly to that. Anyway, here's a shot in. Oh, glorious finish. Danilo. Now, I have emphasized how difficult it is to score from any free kick given a defensive wall. And that was done with pinpoint accuracy. A little in off the cushion into the net. So it's now 4-2. The scorer Danilo, who missed some rather easy chances earlier on in the game. Spaniards trying to come back, and that's a shot again by Ferreira. I mentioned the difference in appreciation of this game with the outdoor game, but I think any professional footballer would admire, under any circumstances, the way that free kick was drilled through a very heavy defense. Here they go again. Wants to go on his own. That's Manuel wanting to take vengeance for that own goal that he scored. They're 4-2 up. Well, highs and lows for the Spanish in this. Just when it seemed as if they would get back into a much stronger position. The Brazilians have struck again, and there's a miss. That does surprise me. Choco, and maybe that injury he had, and from which he went off, has interrupted his balance. Should have put that away. So 4-2 to Brazil. Oh, that won't beat a goalkeeper of that quality, Jesus Claveria. Forward they go again. Oh, brilliantly driven in. Vicente Martinez pass, who scored a hat-trick in the semi-final, brings it back to 4-3. Glorious finish again. And even that superb goalkeeper beaten by the sheer velocity of this left-footed strike. Well, the crowd almost taking the roof off this splendid stadium. It's really magnificent, atmospheric, empty like a cathedral, but when full like this, and when Spain are in action, you get the real value of indoor sport. The involvement of the crowd, the response of the players. That's just full again and just touched away there by Van der. On comes the top goal scorer, Manuel. 4-3 to Brazil. Well, I think that's the pass of a player more used to playing it off the sides. And then coming on for a rebound. Certainly missed that myself. Well, they're playing confidently enough, but they're deep in their own half. Brazilians don't mind that. And that was careless play. Coach didn't like it. Back goes the goal scorer, the last goal scorer, Vicente. Oof. Very close indeed. I think almost took Claveria by surprise. Through it goes, it's 1-on-1 and he gets away. Can he put it in? No. And the resonance of disappointment there, rebounding from the roof. Is that Spanish crowd went, ooh-ah. And now they feel their side has a chance. Well, they're closing them down well, don't let them settle. And they're doing exactly what the Brazilians have been doing at the other end, just containing their opponents within their own half. Still put my money on the Brazilians, though. They're capable of turning the game so quickly and unexpectedly. Here's Choco. It goes out. And in certain ways, España is just as talented as Brazil, except in front of goal. Greater goal-scoring capabilities. Free kick to Brazil. If you're just joining us, you're watching Spain and Brazil play in the World Cup indoor final. Yes, still a little bit too hard. The ball does travel very quickly, not as it used to. They've modified the dimensions, the weight and the bounce of the ball to make it a little more manageable, putting the emphasis on the player's skills. That's slower build-up. This is where it's got to be a little bit different. Well, I'm not quite sure what they were trying there. There's nobody forward. Try to drag the ball with him. And if they do that, he's got to somebody very close by him. That's a beautiful ball. And number 5 there, Vicente, just couldn't keep it in. Now the man who you saw just coming on there, Ferreira, probably the best in front of goal of the Spanish. This is where they are very dangerous. This angle might look difficult, but able to score from there as well. Better tackling, nice little wriggle round. And that was Choco who did that. Choco. Crowd don't like him. Remember the gestures he was making towards them. Oof. That's what I meant about them firing it in very quickly. That's Manuel. On comes Fran, famous Spanish footballing name. And the movement of the ball has got to be swift and unexpected. And look how static the Spanish players are at the moment. There's a run forward. Here's the shot coming in. Another substitution, I think, or is Fran's taking the kick in. Fran made a mistake with that. Brazil on the attack with only 2 men up though. Choco. Back to Manuel. On by Sandrinho. Choco. I don't think he's going to get the freedom of Barcelona, is he? Looks a jovial kind of character. Barrel-chested. Wriggles his hips extremely productively on the pitch. Oh, that must be off the post. Well, the Spanish defense totally exposed. Firmino misses a glorious chance to score the 5th. Still 4-3 to Brazil. The surprising thing of all is that Manuel, with several of the chances he's had, has only scored once in the game. Well, he skids away off the pitch. And the goalkeeper trying that longish one. Several of the teams in the competition have dropped the goalkeeper or their assigned goalkeeper and brought on an outfield player to play in goal so he could come forward, especially when they were trailing. Well, we might yet see the Spaniards do that if it stays the way it does. 4-3 to Brazil with just a couple of minutes remaining. A lot of substitutions being made. The training consists of making sure they can sprint over short distances and keep it going for, well, something like 80 minutes. Given all the extra time that is played. That's just on 3 minutes remaining. The Brazilian 2 against 1. Has he taken it of Edward? Yes. Number 12, Van der. That's dreadful play by the Spanish defense. You certainly wouldn't see Brazil leaving themselves as exposed as that. 2 against 1, and they get what they deserve for, once again, not having enough in support. And now they're making it very difficult for themselves. 5-3 to Brazil. And given their defensive capabilities, a very forlorn situation there for the Spaniards. Almost a high up and under there. Well, the crowd has stuck by the Spanish team. They've had ups and downs, as I said. And one thing the Spaniards have been able to do is to strike back very quickly from... It's been a sequence of 2 goals behind and then pulling one back. Now it's 5-3 and looking infinitely more dangerous for them. There's an eye with that. Marcio coming up. Now scored 3 goals in the World Cup finals. Barcelona's magnificent indoor stadium, the Palau Sant Jordi, has been reverberating with the noise of a crowd really engrossed in what has turned out to be, within the environment of indoor football, a splendid game. Really have to adjust your critical faculties when you're taking the sport into consideration. And one of them is looking at players like this. Little bit Vicente tries to go into the box there. A nimble, will-o'-the-wisp kind of player. Now Pata will take this. They desperately need a goal now. Look at a number of corners the Spaniards have had to no avail, but to no great avail. Oh, no. Vicente, a little touch of nastiness there. I think that comes from suddenly being in this rather negative situation in front of their home crowd. That's the free kick, surely. Now then, will they be able to do what the Brazilians did at the other end? Danilo's magnificent free kick once again put the Brazilians out in front at 4-2. Now at 5-3, Spain have the chance of getting it back. They're against a very good goalkeeper in Serginho. Now from that angle, it might appear to some that it might not be all that difficult to score, but considering the size of the goals, the agility of the goalkeeper and the defensive wall, it's a formidable problem. There's a shot, he's got in! Straight through there, Vicente. 5-4, the second goal he scored, rolled in front of him, the defensive wall broke up. And although he didn't take it directly, Laurenti, he did the right thing. And the Brazilians made that fatal error of breaking up what so far has been a rigidly compact defense. Now there's only one goal in it, but so little time left. Now could the game go into extra time? Manuel, look at the player in the far side, he's uncovered. Great save by the goalkeeper, and Manuel does it. 6-4. Just when the Spaniards looked as if the Brazilians might reel under that strike from the free kick. Again, a really haphazard defense, caught out again by Manuel, a second goal. And you would think now that it's beyond Spain. 6-4. Well, they're accustomed to doing that. Well, they were up till 1970 anyway. Used to watch them, and then that lack of success all these years until the United States for a Brazilian side. And now here they are indoors on the verge of their third consecutive world title. Oh dear, what it's like to be a coach of a side. You see them fighting back with a chance, and then the defense lets them down again. That's another one, no. Once again carved up. They're anxious to get on with it. Danilo, the scorer of that crucial free kick, which took the score to 4-2. Just at a time when Spain were at their best. Corner kick. To try it inside. Now 2 against 2. There's a wonderful bust through the middle. This might be the end. No, good save. Claveria came out very quickly. He's got to touch it inside. And what a marked difference, a contrast there is between the way the Brazilians can defend than Spain. That's been another crucial element in this game. I think the goalkeeper got a touch to that, Serginho. Shot again there by Vicente. Good left foot drive. The man who scored that shot from the free kick. Slipped to him by Llorente. 2 goals in it. Spaniards in the crowd trying to out-sing the Brazilians. Still behind us, the team, which is commendable. And only 53 seconds remaining. Still 2 goals in it. And the president of FIFA watching this very closely, hoping for another Brazilian triumph. He didn't want to go to extra time again. Remember what happened in the Olympic Games when the golden goal counted against the Brazilians, and surprise, surprise, has been dropped for the next World Cup, or at least at this stage it has. So he didn't want to suffer that again. We don't look to be heading for extra time. It looks another Brazilian triumph. Plays it safely all the way down the pitch. A Spanish team that's been led down by a very leaky defense. Poorly organized. I think the sheer desire to press forward to appease this crowd, demanding success from the outset, made them a little careless in defense. Look at the Brazilians, bottom right. Little chorus line of celebration. Well, they scored excellent goals. 5, 3, 2, 1, and Brazil once again are the champions of the indoor world. They first won it in 1989 in Amsterdam, 4 years later in Hong Kong, and now here in Barcelona, and the Spanish and Brazilian coaches embracing. I hope they separate before too long, or else action would have to be taken. And here, the celebration by the Brazilians, and the contrasting sight of the Spanish players, rather more subdued. The Brazilian supporters waiting for the presentation of the trophy. Well, Brazilian players are well known in this part of the world, with Manco Gumari, of course. There's Juan Samaran, Mr. Blatter at the back, Joseph Blatter, and João Havelange, 3 of the most powerful men in world sport. And the trophy goes to Brazil. Well, when Mr. Blatter said something, you've got